For those of you that are having a little bit of trouble with the graphics lab, I'm going to see if I can create something that might help you. So this is in the starter code that you're given. You are given this information right here. So if you look at what this draw rect, it says draw rect 1010 width height. Well, the width is set at 980 and the height at 630. So this is a rectangle with a width of 980 and a height of 630. Now you can change those dimensions if you want to make them more convenient, but it does have to stay a rectangle. There really isn't any need to change it because, I mean, if it's a rectangle and the width and the height, they're not the same. You're going to have the same issue of getting a constant interval to change your x's and your y's. So where the 1010 comes in is that's the upper left-hand corner of this rectangle where it falls on the screen. So 0, 0 is the origin, I guess you would call it. But then we count up. X values go to the right counting up, and Y values go down, but they count up going down. So the Y value would increase. So 0, 0 is the origin, and 10, 10 would be 10 units to the right and 10 units down. So that upper left-hand corner of this rectangle has the XY coordinates of 10, 10. So if I move 980 units to the right from 10, I'm at 990. So the x coordinate of the upper right-hand corner of the box is 990, 10. Okay, and if I move 630 pixels down, we're still at 990 units to the right, or pixels to the right, but now I'm at 640 pixels down. Again, positive going down. And this corner of the box, the lower left-hand corner, its coordinates are 10, 640. And it is important to know that because we are going to be drawing lines across this box, and we have to go all the way to the corner. So we do need those corner coordinates. Now the way these lines are going to work is I'm going to start, and I'm going to first draw the lines in this part of the box. And we're just going to talk about that because once you get one, the rest of them come pretty easily. So what's happening is I'm connecting the upper left-hand corner of the box to a point down here that is, and let me see if I can make the lines straight. That is a certain number of pixels to the left of the left-hand corner. And as I move down, so I'm going to add a certain amount to the y coordinate because the y coordinate here starts at 10. So I'm going to increase the y coordinate, but I'm going to decrease the x coordinate and connect it to an x coordinate that is less than 990. So as I increase the y's, whoops, I wanted a straight line, so let me grab the line again. So as I increase the y's, I decrease the x's. So as the y coordinate increases, the x coordinate decreases. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get all the way over to the left-hand corner of that box. So just to do a few more, it would end up looking something like this. And I'm not doing a great job with these. But so the job that you have is to figure out what's the increment that I want. And the first thing you want to ask yourself was, how many lines do I want to draw? Because if you draw just a few lines, it's not going to look very good. And if you draw too many lines, it's going to be solid black. So you need to come up with an increment that works, but you need the number of lines that, so the increment for the y coordinate as it goes up is not going to be the same as the decrement for the x coordinate as it goes down because the width and the height are not the same. So let's say I want to draw 50 lines in here. So if I want to draw 50 lines, I would say, well, I'm going to split that 630 pixels so that I get 50 lines. So when I do 630 divided by 50, and it's not going to be a whole number, I am going to have to do some rounding here. 630 divided by 50 is 12.6. So I can say, well, I'm going to go up by 12 or I'm going to go up by 13. I'm not going to go up by 12.6. So let's say my y-coordinate is going to go up by 12. Okay, and it will leave a slightly larger gap down at the bottom, but that's okay. Well, I have 980 pixels going along the x-coordinates, so I still want 50 lines. So 980 divided by 50 is going to be 19.6. So again, I'm not going to keep it 19.6. I'm going to, I guess you could try it. It might do 19.6 pixels. If you do a double, maybe it'll do that. But I'll try it in just a minute to see. But if not, you're going to say, well, I'm going to have my x values go down by 20. So what you want to do is you want to say, well, what's my first line going to connect? My first line is going to connect 990.10 to the coordinate, and if I'm going down by 20, this is going to be 970, 640. My next line, so let's see what's happening to the x and the y coordinates. My next line, I'm going to go down by, I said 12, I think it was. So I'm going to increase my y coordinate by 12, but my x coordinate stays the same. So 990, 22. And it's going to get connected to, now I'm going to go, the change here is 20 to 950, 640. Notice what's happening here. The x coordinate does not change for the first point that I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect those with g.draw lines. And on this one, the y-coordinate doesn't change, only the x-coordinate changes. So in your loop, you're going to have to create a situation where you're doing a g.draw line that connects an xy pair to another xy pair. We'll talk about the g.draw line in just a second. But in those g.draw lines, the y-coordinate is going up by 22, where the x-coordinate are going up by 12, while the x-coordinate stays the same. And then for the second point, the x-coordinate is going down by 20, while the y-coordinate is staying the same. So what the g.draw line does, and g is just the object, so here I have g.drawRect, and if you notice there's an object g in parentheses when you look at the code that you were given. So if I do a g.drawLine, and again g is the object, drawLine is the method, it's going to connect two xy pairs. So I could connect, I'm just going to use hard fast code here for just a second, and then I'm going to move into JGrasp and show you how I would do it in JGrasp. So if I said 990, 10, that's my first xy pair, that's x1, y1, and then my second xy pair, 970, 640. And that's my second xy pair. So it would produce this first line that we just created right here. It would produce that line right there. So we need to put it in a loop, but remember that if you look at it, this coordinate is not going to change when I'm going down. The 990 stays the same, and this coordinate doesn't change. It's only these two coordinates, the y1 and the x2, that are changing inside this loop. Now that's if I want to draw 50 lines. All right, I'm going to move to JGrasp, and let's look at